time. Here we go. Hey guys, it's Coach Jen from Fast Pitch Fit, where we help you build strength, inner strength, so you can win in sports, school, and life. But today we're talking about how to be explosive and powerful on the softball field. So I got an excellent expert for you with Barry Lovelace and his amazing guest who's going to demonstrate some awesome workouts for you guys today. Hey Barry, thanks for being on.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. We're very excited to help people from all over the world, hopefully.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Barry, so I am not an expert in speed and agility. I just happen to love the game of softball and love working with athletes. Yeah. And something that you posted, you talked about speed ladders. And when you posted that about speed ladders, you said if you're working with speed ladders, you're doing this all wrong. And that's what really caught my attention and made me start following you. So tell us, what is it? Give us a little bit about your background, your bio, and tell us what makes your training method so unique and why are you getting amazing results for athletes?
Okay, well, first of all, just a real quick intro of my background. I started personal training back in '96. Got certified by National Academy of Sports Medicine, and then I was in a corporate world at the same time. But I had to give all that up. I was actually training a lot of people, but I had to give that up because I kept getting promoted in the corporate world. So I was shut down with that for about like 14 years. And then fortunately, very fortunately, I lost a very good job. I was let go to corporate downsizing, which was the best thing that happened to me. And then from then on, I went and got my certification again, started training, got my first few athletes, and it just exploded. My very first athletes were to really succeed were volleyball players. And the biggest thing that happened was their vertical and their power, just like a couple sessions and everybody was wondering what the heck was going on. So from there on it progressed, and now, we calculate that there's well over 200,000 people worldwide using the products because of all the DVDs and everything combined. So, it's what I do differently is I train the athletes. I would never train out of a textbook because with Emma here, she's one of my awesome athletes who's come a long way.
Woo! Yay!
So you have to know the person, you have to see them. And if you go by a textbook, all of these crazy certifications, and sadly, what people are taught in college, and like I said, everybody's different. So if I see Emma come in, she was 12 years old and she didn't have any experience doing anything. I'm supposed to flip a page and be like, okay, we're going to do this for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. But why do that? Why? If we take our little child, I have a granddaughter, she's 2. She runs all over the place, falls, gets up. If that was kind of similar to what they tell us to follow in personal training guidelines, she's supposed to stand still. She shouldn't be doing anything. And then, if she falls, we're supposed to do this and that. You got to let them be. And if something my theory is, if they're doing it and they're doing it right, even if it's an intense level, we're gonna do it. I don't care if a book tells me I have to wait 6 months for it. If it's not causing pain, it's fine. It's fine to do. It's really that easy. I just watch each athlete, and I think that's why this is so successful. Not only all over, but fortunately in my area, is that every athlete's very unique and different, so I watch them, even in small groups, even in big groups. I'll stop girls doing squats if they aren't doing them right, which we're going to get to later. But that's what makes it unique. You're not going to find everybody doing the same thing the same way because everybody's different. So we have to adjust, and I think the way they're able to progress is because we're able to give them good stuff right away instead of waiting.
Right. Okay. So let's jump in. I really want to dive into some of the demo stuff because we don't have a lot of time here today. I know that at the end we're going to give resources to families that really want more, that are committed to making their athletes strong, powerful, explosive, safely. But before we get into that, so I know that knee injuries is so huge. Injuries for athletes. I actually had a mom literally a couple hours ago message me and said her daughter's out with a knee injury and how it's affecting her confidence and just everything in her life. And I want to help prevent those things from happening. So what's the biggest misconception or myth or mistake that coaches and trainers out there are using right now that we need to absolutely stop and that parents need to watch out for?
The number one thing, and I'm glad that's the way you worded it, the number one thing I feel that I see all the time is doing things, especially squats, jumps, sprints, lateral movements, when they're not ready. And I just hooked up with a physical therapy place in the area, and that's the number one thing he said as well. They're doing things that when they're not ready. What that means is, now I deal with mostly females. We're talking about fast pitch, which is all females, fast pitch softball. So unfortunately, women and girls, young females, you're born with knee problems, right? You're born with a wide pelvis and long femur. So it's very natural for your knees to buckle. That's common. So what happens is, we continue to play all these sports. We continue, you know, mommy and daddy and coaches and trainers. And let's say Emma came in, Emma had that problem. There was no way I was going to start her jumping on day one and doing squats on day one with heavy weight or actually any weight bearing exercise. She was doing body weight squats, and we were strengthening everything on the outside, which we're going to go over. But what you see is not too many, I see it all the time, not too many people, including trainers, sadly, and just let me say it, I'm trying not to offend anybody for what they do, because I guess it's that saying, like, ignorance is bliss. If you don't know it, you don't know it. So I'm just trying to help, and I'm just showing what we do here. And what we definitely make sure we do is that when an athlete, can you just show your knees buckle like they used to, like just squat and let your knees come in? Like that. You see what Emma's doing? Can you see that?
Yeah, we can.
That's what you don't want. Like, and I see this all the time. Like, everybody thinks plyometric box jumps are cool. Well, they're good for you if you do them right, but 90% of everybody that I see, especially on the YouTube, they're doing them wrong. So the reason these athletes are getting stronger quickly and jumping higher is because we focus like a physical therapist. And I say that we always do like physical therapy on steroids. So we'll do stuff like a physical therapist does. They want to get you strong. You want to get strong around all your ligament, around all your joints, right? And I want everybody to think skeletally strong. All of our athletes here are skeletally strong. And knock on wood, in all the years I've been doing this now, I think it's 16 years or something like that, I have never had one athlete ever have an ACL tear, meniscus, shoulder injuries, nothing. Like, never, ever, ever have they had a call in and say, oh, she tore her knee. So this is what, you know, we combine that type of training with strength, and we're just very, very explosive. So the number one thing is doing exercises like Emma just showed, continuously like that, and watching them do that. It's called valgus. Watching that happen at the same time with weight-bearing exercises, squat jumps, plyometric jumps. You know, you shouldn't be doing things if you're not ready. And being ready means, we'll show regular squat, means that you're ready to go. Knees, toes, and hips in alignment, and then you start doing the weight-bearing exercises. But no trainer, no coach is doing jumps and that stuff, very similar to that, without being skeletally strong.
So basically what I'm hearing from you is, if you're a softball coach or a parent and you say, hey, do a squat for me, and their knees are going in, then they have no right doing any kind of jumping at that point, any kind of box jumps like you said, or like my very first day of high school softball, you know, we're in there with our coach and they're like, let's see how much you can max. Let's pour on the weight and get a baseline so we know what you need to work out for the year. So basically you're saying that's a no-go.
No, I mean, it's obvious it's a no-go. I mean, female injuries, ACL tears are always at an all-time high. I mean, always at an all-time high. And there's really only one reason for that, is because they're doing things when they're not ready. They're playing sports, which is great. Obviously, I love sports, but they're doing sports when they're not before they're skeletally strong. And I just really think, even when they're babies, we should be doing something with them to make sure they're strong all over before they really start getting into whatever activities they do.
Awesome.
So I can show you a few things about how we prevent that. And
yeah, let's jump right into the demo. Absolutely. And you can move that chair out of the way too if you think we're done, and let's go right into the good stuff.
All right, so the first thing I would do, Emma came in, is we stop squats and we take this mini band and we step into it, which is usually the hardest part of this exercise. And we bring it just above her knees, okay? And then what we do is feet are just about hip width, not too wide, and she's going to sit back. She's going to push her hips back like a regular squat, and we'll come down a little bit. And now she's going to push her knees out, and she's going to hold. And what that is doing, that is strengthening the gluteus medius, basically strengthening the side muscles and your glutes. And you come up. So we have to hold that like 15, 20 seconds, but we do a lot of like 10 or 12 sets. So where do you feel that? Where do you do that? Right, and that's what we want. We want to strengthen that up. We want to strengthen that hip area up and gluteus medius area. so that we don't have this, okay? And then the next thing we do after we do that for a while, this is what I was talking about, like a little physical therapy. This is a, can you see that?
Yeah, we can see that, the little foam mat.
Yeah, it's an air mat, so you can step up on it. And then we do the same thing. So you can go down and press out. And what this is, the reason we do this is because we want to create proprioception. Okay, that's good. Basically an unstable environment. Now I know you don't play softball in this environment, but that's not my point. My point is, because of the instability, at the same time as she's doing this exercise and firing up all these muscles, she's recruiting more muscle because she's on an unstable environment, and then she's going to strengthen so many muscles and recruit so many different muscles around her hips, knees, and ankles. Which, number one, you strengthen your muscles on your hips, knees, and ankles, and glute, you're going to be faster. That's automatic faster. You do that for a week, every day, you'll be faster next week. It's really that simple.
So let's just repeat what you just said. If you did that every day, if you did that, then in 1 week you could see an improvement in your speed.
Oh yeah, speed, vertical, because think about it. You're running, you're trying to run fast, and you're like a baby deer. You're all over the place, right? So how can you possibly go fast straight by being that wobbly? Now you strengthen everything up. You're running fast, everything's solid and secure. How can you not? How can you not unless you're really, really slow? So, but it's impossible. Even if you're really, really slow, you're going to be faster. And then after that, we do all the other stuff that we're going to show you later. So then we progress from there to regular squats, which I could show a regular squat. Hopefully everybody knows what it is, but there might be a lot of people here that don't understand what a regular squat should look like. Like, you know, there might be a lot of parents on here and athletes that are young trying to train on their own. Should I show it? Yeah,
let's see a true squat, because I've seen a lot of girls that don't know how to do a proper squat. And if we can see it from both angles, both from the front and from the side, I think that would be helpful too.
Yeah, we'll do that. And the thing to remember is everybody thinks there's the perfect squat. There is a perfect squat. There's a perfect squat for Emma. There's a perfect squat for me, and there's a perfect squat for you. So now look at me. I'm 6'2". No, like she's 13 and she's taller than me. So it's impossible, and her femur is most likely longer than mine. So it's impossible for her to do the same squat that's in the textbook that everybody thinks she should do. All right? So I'll go over the form. Just remember, there's a lot of things that play a part in a perfect squat, so you have to watch form. So now, her feet are, because she's tall, her feet are just past hip width, okay? And knees and toes are going to be in alignment. She's going to squat down, she'll push her hips back at the same time, which you're going to see from the side, all right, when you get there. And then she's just going to sit down into it and come right back up. Okay? Sitting down into it. See how her knees, go ahead, do it again. Nothing happens with her knees. And I'm just asking her straight and right for that a little bit, because I'm really picky. So, but you can see her knees aren't going in at all. I think these are a few more. Good, and then you can face that way. And the goal is to keep your, again, how long she is. Like I can keep my back straight if I want. For her, it's going to be a little harder because she's longer in certain areas, but as long as her knees aren't coming forward, her knees really aren't coming forward over her toe, which is also kind of a myth. See how she's, go ahead, do it. Pushing her hips back. Good. Now you'll hear a lot of people say, you know, so just do me a favor, really do a bad squat and lift the heels up and around your knees come forward. All right, so that's really bad, but sometimes, as I've heard, if I have an athlete here that and their heels are flat and their knees are coming forward a little bit, but they're not coming all the way up here, I'm kind of okay with that because their tibia is long as well. So it's almost impossible for them not to have their knees come forward. So there's so many variations that you have to look out for, but you know, the squat is pretty simple. Knees, toes, and hips in alignment. Try to keep your back as straight as possible. Move your feet to the side and sit back into it. That's a perfect squat. It's like a really, really perfect squat.
Awesome. So, you know, a misconception I see a lot too on squat is that they actually need to keep their body straight upright. And it's not so much that your body needs to be upright sitting back, it's that your spine needs to be straight. Yeah, the force of the weight should be straight down. Like it really should be like shoulders, knees, ankles is where you want that weight. So even if you're long, you still want that weight here. But not straight back, because then you're putting all that pressure on your back. It's yeah. So, all right. So I think that's the progression then. So we're going to start with the bands around our knees. Make sure we're strengthening the outsides of our legs, our gluteus medius.
Yeah, just a crazy. Yeah. I side butt muscle or whatever. It's really simpler. I'm not a fan. Yeah. But
we talked a little bit about making sure that that's going to help with us with speed and making sure that we don't have injuries, because like you said, we don't play on that type of environment with the blue squishy pad, but the truth is some of the bases that we play on and some of the dirt we play in, it's kind of squishy. I blew my knee out hitting a base when it was unstable, probably because I hadn't strengthened those muscles yet.
Right, so you can prepare for that. You know, training, there's a lot of myths about that too, and some people don't think you should train. I don't train on crazy unstable environments, but I like challenging just so they strengthen all their joints up a little bit, you know, and so that helps in situations like that as well.
All right, so I think we're going to talk about speed next. Is that good with you?
Speed ladders, hopefully.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about why speed ladders are not correct, because I mean, even in college, we were doing the icky shuffle, we were doing in, out, in, out, in, out, you know, hopscotch, all that kind of stuff. So tell us why, if we're training with speed ladders, we're not helping our athletes.
All right, so I'll just try to tell you real quick, like how this came about when you saw that post that I had, or whatever you saw on Instagram. But what it was I'm training a lot of athletes, and two of them, their father is a local college coach, men's coach, and athletic director. Plus, he was a superstar in college and high school. Very, very good athlete. So it was like the third or fourth session here, and he's watching, and he's kind of doing stuff in the background, which was really cool. And he's looking around, and he's like, "So you don't use ladders here?" And I'm like, I was kind of caught off guard because it's a natural progression for me not to, right? So I'm like, no, like I didn't even know what to say. I'm like, no, we don't, because we were doing a reaction drill, which you'll see Emma did. We were doing a reaction drill with bands and stuff, right, for explosiveness. And I'm like, no. So then I thought about it for like 2-3 days because I was really upset at myself for not having a quick answer. You know what I mean? But again, natural progression, you don't think about things you do every single day, right? Especially something you don't do. So, and I'm like, I don't use them because it makes no sense. Like, how can a speed ladder, how can a 10 or 12 foot or 15 foot string of little boxes help Emma go from home plate to first base by doing a Nicky shuffle? By the time she gets this, does she do that? Do the softball player hit the ball, and all of a sudden they start doing a Nicky shuffle and in and out and freaking all this other stuff? It's like, why would you do that? Like, you don't do that. Your goal is to get from first or home plate to first quick, not in 20 minutes. That's not the game, unless you are a speed ladder athlete. And I don't think that's in the Olympics right now, but it might be one day because I see a lot of people doing speed ladders really fast, which is great, but there's no explosive power in that. There's zero explosiveness. So, you know, it's a marketing gimmick. There's a lot of them out there, and sadly we fall for it. And again, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but I see trainers doing it, and I can't understand how a trainer, especially at college level, doesn't get that. It's a waste of the athlete's time. Like, Emma has never, I think she bats, she's not lefty. She improved her speed so much. That was one of the things she came here for. She's a slap hitter now because she gets to first base like crazy. We don't do it. I don't touch a ladder. I don't touch a speed ladder. It's not even a thought. We work on that explosiveness. And with that, the goal is to touch the ground and explode as quick as possible. The goal is to absorb your weight when you land and take off. So there's really nothing. It's a good cardio workout. If we throw it in our boot camps and stuff, we have a ladder there. But there's no way. And just let me say that. It's not just my thing. When I thought this, I did some Googling, and there are some of the top trainers in the world that cannot understand why trainers use speed ladders. Now, again, parents and coaches, if you don't know, you don't know. You think you're doing the right thing. But, you know, and what we're going to talk about in first step reaction explosiveness, it's a lot of footwork with bands, a lot of explosiveness, working the hips, the knees, again, strengthening the Achilles, and working on explosive power with resistance. And yeah, I don't get it. And just real quick thing, Usain Bolt won the 100-meter dash last night, right?
Right.
He's never done a speed ladder. All those guys, they've never done a speed ladder. So that should tell you, number one, it's not for speed. And it's really not for agility. It's just to, I don't know what it's for.
Well, let's go ahead and we got about 10 minutes left, so let's go ahead and jump in and show some of those speed drills that you got.
All right, so again, we do a lot of explosiveness. Let's show the first one. Again, the goal is to touch the ground as quickly as possible. So this is just 2 little 6-inch banana hurdles, right? And what I'm going to have Emma do is she's going to hop over the first one and then spring ladder. This is what I want the coaches and athletes to remember. And any trainers that are watching, if you don't do this type of training, you want to spring, not just touch and lift your feet up. You want to spring. So you want your hips. The goal is to bring your hips up higher every time you spring. And then when you land, you'll hear me say this a million times a day. Spring, 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 drive. So I'll show this and then I'll explain what she did. So, or she'll show this, spring, spring, land, drive. That's good. Okay? So what she's doing is, do it again. I want her to spring every time. So spring, go ahead. Spring, land, push. Good. So from the side, she's obviously coming up high, but she's landing. And then I want her to put that weight on the ball of one foot. And I want her to push and then reach, push. Now, granted, that's not, you don't do that in a sprint. They're usually like shorter steps, right? When you're sprinting, and then all of a sudden you stand up, and then you have longer strides. But the reason I have my athletes land, drive, is so that when they need to land and drive, they land and drive without thinking. So that's what it's there for. It's not, I'm not teaching her a perfect sprint. What I'm doing is teaching her perfect explosiveness. Okay? So that's what that one is. Okay? And then let's strap her up to the bands. So another thing we do, now somebody might say, okay, well, he doesn't do speed ladder, so why is he doing this? All right, the reason we do, like chopping feet is one of them, okay? Chopping feet strengthens up your Achilles, right? And it just creates a lot of elasticity, like tons of elasticity. So we do a lot of chopping feet, especially with resistance. Now the other thing she's gonna do, and people might think this is strange, but it's not, and I've come a long way because I never used to like it, but we do, all my athletes do a drop step. And all my athletes are gotten faster, a lot faster and quicker. So the drop step is really, so it's called a plyo step as well. It's just a little drop and then take off. In the past, I would force them, when I would say go, force them to think and then push that back step. But all that time they're thinking, they could have been probably 2 yards ahead of themselves, right? So Emma's going to do a resisted choppy feet with a drop step to a sprint, okay? And you should notice that the drop step isn't this long. Well, she's long, but it won't be too long, right? So choppy feet, yep, and then sprint. Ready? Choppy feet, go, jump. That's it. Good.
And I want you to keep going. I just want to address, we got some questions coming in on Facebook asking people about kettlebell training and stuff like that. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and post them in the comments, either on Google Plus. I know some people were having some trouble with hearing the audio. It will be recorded. If you got questions on Facebook and you're watching over here, go ahead and type them in, and we'll address as many as we can as soon as we're done with this last little demo. So let's go ahead and show one more time.
Go, fast. We'll do that one more time. Ready? That's okay. A little slip. Go ahead. Go, fast. Good. So the choppy feet, they want to sound, and once you want to sound like this, and that drop steps a little one, and you take off.
Sounds like a little cartoon character. That sounds like a cartoon.
Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, we do a lot of kettlebell training here, and what we use them for, we do swings, Emma does swings, but we don't do like all the Turkish kettle snap. We use, I don't know if you can see them in the corner, but we have a lot of kettlebells that we do.
Yeah, we got some kettlebells over there.
Yeah, so anyway, so that's one or two things that we do. And I mean, there's a million different things we do, but the number one thing is we train from the inside out. Core training is number one. You do core training for 2 or 3 weeks and nothing else, you'll be faster, because what you're doing is bringing your lower body and upper body together as a whole. So how can you not be faster? That's the goal of core. You know, it's where all power begins. It's where it's your center of gravity. So, you know, you can definitely get faster and quicker doing that as well.
Right, and I've seen some of the stuff that you've been putting on social media about your core training is very different than a lot of the core training that I see, you know, high schools doing. That it's a little bit of instability. So I know that that's really important, and as you said, that translates into pitching, into catching, into speed. Yeah,
injury prevention. Like Emma, there's one named after Emma. It's the Emma plank, where she's on two medicine balls. I can actually turn the camera around. You can see her poster.
You have a workout named after you, Emma?
She has an exercise, yeah, right? She's on 2 medicine balls doing a plank with a band pulling her from the side and one arm up. And that's because she worked her way up to that. And that's creating so much strength around her, in her core, obviously, and in her whole shoulder girdle and everything, and that's injury prevention. It's really good for my pitchers, baseball or softball, and my volleyball hitters. You know, if you can do it and they're ready, you have to progress it. If I just had her do planks every day on medicine balls, you know, it would be crazy. Like, it wouldn't do anything after a while.
All right, so we're gonna see if we have anybody else asking or posting questions now.
Okay.
And then also, let's see. Yeah, we've got lots of people tagging, sharing pictures. Somebody says, hey, my muscles are very short. How do I improve lengthening my muscles?
Muscles are muscles. I mean, you lengthen your muscle by an eccentric movement, like a bicep curl. It lengthens, right? And then you can't make a long muscle. You know, it's genetics. It's our body, right? I mean, it's like saying I want to make my bones long. It's either going to happen or it's not. You know, it's so.
Probably what they mean is they're tight, right? Probably what they're meaning is they're unable to lengthen their arms out all the way because they never lengthen it, I would think.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe they're talking that they're just unflexible, like really tight in that area. And actually, what I don't know what area they're talking about, whether it's arms or quads or hamstrings, but this is what a lot of my athletes do. We do a lot of, you know, it's foam rolling. We don't do foam rolling, but it's similar to foam rolling where we'll do a stretch, and I'll actually take a lacrosse ball and push. So let's say I had them do like a hip flexor stretch on the ground. I take a lacrosse ball and actually push it into their hip flexor area as I'm stretching. So, you know, they can take a lacrosse ball or, you know, the massage sticks and everything to break that up. I don't know if it's their whole body that's tight, and everybody's different. So I don't know who the person is or what their problems are, but you really can't lengthen. I mean, stretching, if that's what you mean, that they're just tight.
Well, I appreciate that. So it's just like asking your bones to be longer. So it gives you perspective. So, all right, so let's do this. I know, Barry, I know that a lot of people, they're going into a new softball season right now. Everybody wants to be faster, stronger, quicker. They want to hit farther. They want to throw harder. They want to pitch faster, right? Yeah. And I know that you have some really solid training programs for athletes. And I asked you, I said, you know, if we were going to do a training for athletes, I know that most of the parents are going to want more to know exactly what they're supposed to do than what we can fit in the first 30 minutes. Right. So you have some special programs available, and we're going to give our listeners, our viewers, the ridiculous deal if they want to take advantage of it this week. Can you tell us a little bit about pitcher's pop, catcher's power, and first step quickness?
Yeah, and the thing that I really want to note is, like, it's a side thing I do, but it's something that I love, and it's exactly what my athletes do. If it wasn't what my athletes did, those products wouldn't be there. Think of them as workouts, right? So pitcher's pop training is basically the exact workout that Haley did. This is, I think it's like 6-7 years ago she came to me. I'm not sure the exact time, but she increased her miles per hour, because that's very important to some people it's not. But overall strength and softball ability, she increased 8 miles from 44 to 52 in no time. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to make this my first, because I get a lot of emails from people. And I was like, I'm going to make that my first pitcher's pop. And since then, people from all over have been using it, and they just send emails. It's working. I can't believe how much stronger they are. So that one is there. It's pitcher specific, but let me also note that every one I just love, pitcher's pop training and catcher's power, which I'm going to talk about next, are for any softball player. Actually, almost any athlete. There's only 1 or 2 exercises that are specific to pitcher or catcher that you could just not do, which is fine. There's a lot of stuff in them, okay? A lot of info. Catcher's power is the exact workout that Kelsey did. Kelsey Simpkins, she went to Notre Dame High School. She was one of the slowest girls on her team the year before. And 2015, she came to, or before the 2015 season, she came to me, and that was her #1 goal. Well, she went from being a mediocre softball player. She came here 3 times a week for a long time. And she ended up being one of the fastest on her team, running out infield balls, infield hits, and also she was all-state, all-area for 2 different newspapers, all-conference, and all something else. So that is her exact workout. And let me say, that is for anybody. I don't care what position you play. And everything has progression. You're going to see the work. The videos are just like I'm talking to you. Everything's education, and you're learning. You're not just doing a squat. There's ways to do the squats. obviously how to do a squat, why you're doing a squat, and then progressions with each exercise, and tons of results from that. And first step reaction and explosiveness is what all my athletes do. So that isn't only for speed and quickness, it's obviously explosiveness, but it's for vertical jump as well. There's a lot of good things in there for vertical, and everybody likes to have a nice vertical, especially if you're in field. You definitely would like that. And that helps your catchers as well, exploding from the bottom. So.
Well, I like what you said, that everybody wants to be fast. All pitchers want to pitch faster. All catchers want to throw down stronger. They don't want to be exhausted at the end of a tournament. They want to feel good when they're done working out. And so you're going to give us the workouts. This is what I'm planning on doing with my team, Barry. So I'm going to be having all of my athletes going through these workouts. So starting next week, we're going to be starting to go through them, and I'm really excited. I do know that there's a few tools that you recommend that we get to be able to help along the way. But I saw the deal. When you use discount code JENN, JENN, you're going to give 30% off. Is that right?
35.
35. Okay, there you go. So 35% off. So if it's a ridiculous deal. I think it averages out to be like $20 a piece. If you get, it's just a little bit over $20 a piece. You can't get a better workout than that. I think my parents used to pay $50 per session for me to go work out with someone like you in Texas, and that was just one workout, not training that I could use over and over again.
Right. So, and what's also important, what you said is everything we do here also it builds elasticity, and it's for muscle endurance as well. Muscle endurance meaning, just like you said, that if you're pitching all weekend, you're catching all weekend, you're going to feel strong, you're going to be throwing, you're going to be hitting hard all weekend because you have all that elasticity built up and that muscle endurance. You're really not going to get tired unless it's crazy humid and you're not eating right, but your muscles should last a whole 2-3 day weekend with all the games you play, and you'll feel great. That's the other thing. I love hearing how the athletes just feel great about themselves and how they feel differently. Catcher's power, like any of those workouts that I'm telling you about, they start doing them within a week. If they follow the calendar and how I tell them, say the progression is, they'll see changes in no time.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped because I can't wait to be able to see my before and after with the athletes I work. I almost was like, should I even share this on Fast Pitch Fit, or should I keep it my little secret? So let's see if I have any more questions. I think we're good. So guys, make sure I posted the 3 different links to the different programs. They're for all athletes, not just pitchers or catchers. And what you said, you were going to give them something special too if they decided to get 2 of the 3?
Right, if they buy 2 of them, and we'll see that come through obviously. If they buy 2, I'm going to send them Core Strong 13 as well, which is 13 really good exercises with just a band, band with the handles, which I give you the info for that. 13 different exercises. But then I also, within that, there's 3 power supersets on how to put those exercises together. And that alone is going to help these athletes get a lot powerful hitting and throwing. That's why I put that together. It's just all core exercises, 13 different core exercises specifically for power. So yeah, if we see 2 of them. And the other thing I want to note is Catcher's Power isn't a hard copy DVD. That's an automatic download. They'll get the link after they purchase it, and they can watch it right away. It's theirs. They can start tomorrow if they have most of the stuff. So.
Awesome. So Catcher's Power, the other 2 DVDs, are they online?
Yeah, are they what?
So Catcher's Power is all delivered online. What about the other ones?
Yeah, the other 2 are hard copy DVDs, and we'll ship them out.
Perfect. So Catcher's Power will be on automatically. That's what I'm starting with my team next week. We're going to be implementing some of that. And then First Step Quickness Pitcher's Pop will be in the mail, Core Strong 13. And then also what I'm going to do, Barry, is if anybody decides that they're going to invest in themselves, you can get all 4 workouts for, I think it was like $80, which is ridiculous and awesome. So thank you very much for the gift. So if they do that, I'm also going to give them 30 days to my All-Star Club program, where they can get on live and work on the mental side of the game with top coaches from across the country and top leaders and mentors. So anybody who gets all 4, Barry, make sure you send me their information so that way I can get them into that too.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Awesome. Hey, Emma, you rock, man. Thank you so much. And congratulations on all of your success and all of your improvement. I hope I get to see you out playing sometime soon.
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, hard worker.
Hard worker. All right, Barry, any last thoughts, any last words of wisdom for coaches and parents and athletes out there watching the replay?
Do I have any words of wisdom for them?
Yeah, any last words of thoughts?
Yeah, the only thing I really highly recommend them to be open-minded and not think that everything they see is what their young kids should be doing, because again, everybody's different. Try to find a trainer or an organization in your area that actually focuses on individual athletes. If you just go somewhere and they just want 30 kids in there, and the trainers walking around or not paying attention to your kid, but you can see it from the class window that they're doing horrible squats, that's a caution sign. And again, following people like you that fortunately can get people to talk about how to help them safely, that's the number one goal. You want to create safe and effective exercises so that there is no injuries, and you have athletes lasting very long in their sport and liking it instead of hating it because they're injured, they can't get over the injury, but yet they're going to train again, they're going to practice again, there's no rest. And there's another one, rest. You can't beat them into the ground. They need rest, especially the young athletes, but every athlete needs rest. And again, if you research some of these Olympians, I guarantee you they're resting like 2 days a week, because that's the only way to, save your body and, build what you're trying to build. You just can't keep beating your body down.
Awesome, Barry. Well, hey, you guys rock. You are thebomb.com. I can't wait. And I know in the near future we're going to do some stuff together, get more training out there for athletes. So if you're watching this and you have questions, make sure you post them below. I'll make sure that we get either Barry or myself to get you the information. How long are we going to leave that special deal up for the 35% off?
Yeah, this Thursday night at midnight, it kind of shuts down automatically. So hopefully see some come through. And just remember, if you got to enter Jen and press apply. All right. Because we're going to have a lot of sales. If you forget to press apply, yeah, you just have to press apply to get that discount. Jenn,
press apply, and we'll be good to go. Awesome. Hey, Em, again, thank you again, and appreciate all you guys for coming on tonight. And until next time, play up.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, and we're still live on Facebook over here. We got a few people watching here, so I'm just gonna pop over here on Facebook Live. Hello. Let's see. If you are on Facebook Live and you didn't get to see the high quality, if you couldn't really hear him, I will go to fastpitchfit.com/strong. If you weren't able to completely hear all the information, and that will give you a link to the replay page, and I will make sure that I'm sending out some of the highlights. Again, the special for pitcher's pop, catcher's power, and first step quickness, that goes till Thursday night. And really, seriously, I think it ends up after the discounts. Hold on, I even pulled it up for all of them, for all of the discounts. Let's see. It was here. I'll show you guys what it looks like. I'm gonna show you my screen. Here, I'm in his shopping cart right now. There we go. So there we go. If you apply all of them, all of the discounts, you save $30. Yeah, it's $56 for all of the workouts. You get 4 workouts plus All-Star Club, which is normally $49 a month. So it's basically a no-brainer if you guys are serious about getting strong and being safe and healthy. So take advantage of that. The links are in the profile below. You have to go to each website right now, but it will put it all in the same shopping cart. So just go to each one. It'll put it all in the same shopping cart. Discount code JENN. That's me, Jen with 2 N's. And we'll get you guys taken care of. Hey, thanks again for being on tonight. And make sure that you share this with your team or your coach if you want them to be able to have access to this too. And until next time, I say play up. Thanks, thanks, and take care, guys. Bye. All right, that's done. Oh, and we're still stop broadcast. I guess we're still live up here too.